Los Angeles Rams head to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. This line has been slowly inching down all week long. Currently, the Rams are 3.5-point road favorites. We got a total at 50. This one looks pretty interesting. What do you make of this game?
This is a really interesting game. First things first, Kyle Shanahan has dominated this matchup. He's won each of the last 4 meetings against Sean McVay's Rams, but I can't do it. There's a lot of sharp money on the 49ers, but this team really just hasn't performed the way you would expect them to play. And the offense is actually solid, but there's a disconnect there, and I don't quite understand it. Like, what's your thoughts on this 49ers team?
I struggled the same way. I dug through, you and I both love to look at EPAs and DVOAs and all the numbers. The Niners, by all the numbers, other than the one that matters, the win-loss record, the other numbers make them look pretty good. They're number 9 in DVOA at Football Outsiders. They're number 6 in offensive DVOA. Who in the world thinks the 49ers are the 6th best offense in the NFL? They're a top 8 passing attack, and running defense. They're just terrible on passing defense. We can agree with the numbers on that one. Their special teams have been very good. At Football Outsiders, so they're 3-5. Football Outsiders expected wins 5.2. So that's a pretty huge difference. They have played the 4th toughest strength of schedule so far. So I think that's a little bit of it. And if you look at the games too, they almost beat the Cardinals the first game, not last week. That was bad. They almost beat the Cardinals, and that was with Trey Lance, no Jimmy Garoppolo. They led the Colts in the 4th quarter, blew that one. They should have beat the Packers. They blew that one late. They've missed George Kittle for 3 games. He's back. I think he might be their best player. They missed Jimmy Garoppolo for a game and a half, Trent Williams for a game. They missed a bunch of their defenders. So I don't know. I'm trying to talk myself into what the numbers are seeing in the Niners. I see the picture they're painting. I don't know if I totally buy it either.
Yeah, and I think the tragic thing about this game is that the Rams are just coming off such a disappointing loss. Like, had they won last week against the Titans, I feel like we might have some value with the 49ers after their disappointing loss. But if you're fading Sean McVay, you're fading a guy who's 9-2, 82% against the spread on the road coming off a loss. And I just don't know if I can do that. But there's a lot of sharp money on the 49ers. It's probably going to be a classic sharps versus squares matchup. But me personally, I don't want to back the 49ers. I had them last week against the Cardinals, and no Kyler Murray, no DeAndre Hopkins, and it wasn't even a contest. You beat the closing line by 5.5 points. And so it's just, I think that they're on my do not bet list right now.
Yeah, there was a rough game last week, and it's really hard to get past that perception of just like, that was one of the biggest eggs that we've seen any team lay this whole season. And so it's really hard to get that taste out of your mouth as a bettor. It's also very important to do that because it's just one game. Sometimes it just isn't your day. And, if that was a week 1 game, if you flip the schedule all the way around, we wouldn't be thinking about that. It'd be like, oh, well, they've come a long ways. And so it may be that they just are eager, like the Rams are good off of a loss. Why can't the Niners be good off of just like, hey, that was awful. We need to come out and play on our home field and look good on Monday night. Like you said, McVay has struggled against Shanahan. I had that in my notes as well. Last year, McVay lost twice outright as the favorite to Shanahan. So they're not going to be afraid of this team. The other thing too that I saw, underdogs of 5 points or less against teams who have failed to cover 3 in a row. That's the Rams. The Rams are not covering lately. They keep kind of leaving the door open. That implies that they probably are getting a little overvalued by the books. So in that spot where underdogs are 5 points or less, 72, 55, and 7 against the spread. So 56.7% cover. That includes 3-1 this season. All 3 underdogs that covered won outright too. So the numbers would tell us to bet the Niners here. The numbers are telling us San Francisco is not so much worse than the Rams. The numbers are telling us the Rams aren't playing super well lately, that the books are probably overvaluing this line a little bit. I gotta say, if the line got down further to 3 or below, I'm definitely out. I definitely don't want to do it. At 3.5, I might put a little bit on San Francisco just because it's a home Monday night dog. It's a division game. It's a high line there. But yeah, I know I don't want to bet on the Rams on this game. I might put a little bit on the Niners. It feels like a game that I'm gonna have to just mostly watch and learn a lot from, though.
Yeah, my model is actually showing Rams -5. So like
Interesting.
4 or 5, it's about the same. It's still in that dead zone. So I'm not really seeing much of an edge on the side. Total wise, I think Robert Woods being out kind of hurts. I don't really. I got to get a perception for this offense without him.
Yeah, obviously we didn't mention Odell Beckham. The Rams' second big trade in a couple of weeks. Von Miller is in. Odell Beckham is in. I don't know if Von Miller will still play yet. He didn't play last week. They're trying to get that ankle healthy. Obviously playing the long game here. Beckham, I think, will play, but you can't imagine he's going to be out there for a ton of plays as they kind of work him into things. So yeah, I eyed the under, thinking like, well, maybe they'll just have a hard time getting things moving. But Rams games have been pretty high scoring this season. So the under is a little scary there, even at 50. The one scary number here, if I bet on San Francisco, the Rams passing defense EPA the last 4 weeks ranks first in the NFL. The Niners passing defense EPA ranks dead last in the EPA or in the NFL for that span. So 0.45 EPA. And the Rams like to pass, and they're very good at it. And Cooper Kupp has been obliterating other teams. So that's scary. If I do bet on the Niners, I'm looking for Elijah Mitchell to be the reason that I kind of stay in the game. George Kittle blocking and getting some of those catches underneath, and then just Elijah Mitchell carrying the ball and keeping Stafford on the sideline, keeping it close. I do think it'll be close. It doesn't seem like the Rams are going to run away with this. It feels like a spot where the Niners are kind of fighting for their season a little bit and are undervalued, but it's a tough one. It sounds like we're leaning Niners, but mostly staying away here.
Yeah, I think that's what we're doing.